which group or individual or story do you think really needs more voice at this time? And how are you trying to lend that group or that person their voice?
There's a long list of voices that need to be represented, and I feel like, we've only touched the beginning tip of the iceberg on those voices. We've been kind of in our own backyard with our really talented creators, here in the US and mostly LA and in New York. And as you expand outside into different countries and travel to India and Brazil and India, my favorite trip I took this last year. I just love the ability to go meet storytellers that come from their own cultures, their own backgrounds, and giving them the reins to be able to tell a story that exists outside of that individual culture. So, there's amazing creators coming out of India that are, now have shows on our air that we are promoting as global originals, and it's been a real privilege to be able to do that. It should be that way. Language should no longer be a barrier on these shows' global appeal, and that's the way we view it. And like, what truly is a global show? A global show is a show that reaches and touches people in the world, and that doesn't extend just to shows that come out of the US. So that's one thing that we're definitely doing.
That must be so exciting to do that. And, at AMC Networks, we have some networks internationally, but we don't have that same global platform as Amazon. But I certainly when I was at Sundance, one of the things that this is, it feels like ancient history now, but I guess it was 2012 or something, bringing in a lot of amazing auteur makers of, at the time, miniseries, people like Olivier Assayas, who made a thing called Carlos, which was the first scripted thing I put on Sundance, and it surprised us by winning a Golden Globe and being sort of hailed in all sorts of ways. And Jane Campion from New Zealand with Top of the Lake. So bringing in a lot of different voices to America, I think is something that is so profoundly exciting and is so good for audiences and so good for the overall holistic sort of body of work that everybody here is being informed by and being entertained by. And then I think, I certainly when I was at BBC America, having a show like Orphan Black and going to Comic-Con with that and seeing the way that show connected.
Go, woo, Orphan Black.
It's been on Amazon. I think it's on Amazon as well, isn't it? In second windows.
I was cheering for you, though.
Women are so nice. But going to Comic-Con and seeing, it didn't play in Hall H, the huge room, it played in a small intimate room. And in a way that was great because seeing the show was about many things, it was sci-fi, but really it was about women's identity, and there were a lot of rich storylines around sexuality and sexual identity. And to see people in that room, stand up and share their own life experiences of coming out and talk about how that show and some of the storylines really encouraged and inspired them to do that. There was no dry eye in the room. And those kinds of stories that you get to tell and those kinds of ways in which audiences get impacted, I think is something that is, really electric and really, really important and meaningful.